Another good run out today against AFC Bournemouth 11. What did you make of the game today?
It was a good game in that I thought it was our biggest test so far this pre-season. Especially first half, it was a real game. It was not only for the boys but for me and Joe, a few things to figure out tactically. I thought even physically, even though they were a younger team, I thought physically they were quite athletic. We had to probably work 10% harder than we've had to so far. We knew they'd be well organised, well coached as they are. So yeah, it was quite enjoyable. It was a really worthwhile game for us, definitely. I think the boys were tested a bit more in every different way, like mentally, physically, technically. So it was pleasing. It was pleasing that we came out unscathed in terms of injuries. Thought we did some good things. I think we were good without being great, without really... I think we've probably got a gear to go into a bit more, and I know it's pre-season, so it's tough. But I definitely think, the season's coming up, the fixtures are out now. We've got to be our competitive nature, the way we manage the game, the physicality we show has to start going up. We have to be ready to fight because it's going to be a fight for the whole season. But yeah, overall, really good afternoon for us. I think it was a perfect fixture for where we are in pre-season.
Pat mentioned there that the fixtures out. What did you make of our first 5 games, let's say, in the schedule?
Yeah, it's don't know. It's a few cliches. You are going to play every team twice, and they are what they are to a certain degree. I think the one thing to take from it is nice to be at home for the first game. A little bit of a continuation of sort of the good home form that we showed towards the end of last season. So in that respect, it's nice to be at home first game. I think after that, it is what it is. You're going to have some horrible away nights on a Tuesday night, regardless of what team you are. You're going to have some home games that you really look forward to. So I think the nice thing is it makes it real. The season's not far away at all now. So it's all guns blazing really towards that. And we ramped it up, I think, a little bit today. The game was harder for us. Some more things to figure out. And as pre-season develops, I think, we gear up really towards the Fareham and Salisbury home games in particular, where you're really looking at it and you're thinking we need to make sure that we're replicating what we would like to do in a league game.
Pat, we obviously put out quite a strong starting 11 today. How different will that starting 11 be to the one we play on the first game of the season against Hanwell?
Hard to say right now. It depends on how people train, how they play in the remaining games. Obviously fitness of certain players, but it was a strong team. I think it's a small squad at the moment, but a strong squad. I think there was players that we brought off the bench who probably are in for a shout of being in the starting team and have shown as much so far in pre-season. So I think, it is difficult to say, but I think everyone in the squad has trained and played to almost a maximum level so far. Everyone's performed well. Everyone looks hungry. So, there is going to be competition in the squad, but I also think everyone understands that because there's, around 16 players, everyone's going to get game time next season. We're going to have to rotate. There's lots of games. But it's important that they understand that, we want to improve on the last couple of seasons. We don't want to be a relegation team, and for that, we're going to have to put what we think's the best team out every week, and they're going to have to fight for their place. And I think they're willing to do that because they've shown how hard they've worked and how much work they've done in training, that they're all ready to fight for their place.
And Joe, just finally, how nice does it feel to be back here playing in front of the fans again?
Yeah, it's nice. Like I said a minute ago, it's we made it into a bit of a fortress towards the end of last season, so we want to keep that going into this season. I think again, it's the next step for us in pre-season to get back in front of the fans, and I thought that they were given a relatively entertaining game today. I thought the first half especially was a good half of football. It's nice to be back in front of them. It's nice for the new boys to come and experience playing here for us in front of the home fans. So we're ticking off the boxes quite nicely, and the next one obviously is a slightly different challenge at Brock on Tuesday, where the boys will be asked some different questions than they were asked today. And I think that the nice thing about the pre-season that we've got is we've got a nice balance of opposition. This game provided certain challenges, but it doesn't look like a game that we will have in our league season, because obviously our games don't look like the tactical battles necessarily that you face today. It's a lot more sort of physical and combative, so we've got one or two of them games in that we'll also look to really get something out of. So nice to be back at home, but we look forward to the challenges that we've got left this pre-season.
Cheers.